We make body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teen girls. This is the title of one of Facebook's own slides from the hidden research it conducted on Instagram users. So out of all the areas of mental health that were investigated by Facebook, the impact that Instagram has on body image is the topic that was the most heavily researched and commented on. Facebook flat out says that Instagram contributes to body dissatisfaction, body dysmorphia, and eating disorders. And the phrase used to describe someone who experiences this on Instagram is, quote, an emotional spiral. One user reported, I keep looking at these images. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't eat or try to eat less. While another person stated, it makes me feel insecure about my body, even though I know I am skinny. It was found that 1 in 4 people said that they often see content that makes them feel worse about themselves. And 1 in 5 have felt worse in the past 7 days. Can you believe this? Because I'm struggling to wrap my mind around this. Over the past week, 20% of people have felt worse about themselves because of a social media platform. Now, why does this matter? The main issue is that rates of disordered eating are on the rise. According to an article published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2019, the prevalence of eating disorders increased 3.5% from 2000 to 2006 and 7.8% from 2013 to 2018. So what particular factors within Instagram are contributing to worsening body image issues? Facebook found that there were a trifecta of factors, and these were 1, body standards, 2, flawless skin, and 3, fashion. And what do these factors do to us when we're seeing them in our feeds? They trigger negative emotions such as anger or envy. And the type of posts that trigger these negative emotions include things that we've all seen before, right? Transformation stories that focus on outcomes instead of the journey, posts fixated on body parts, or posts using hashtags such as no filter when in reality, the post was clearly filtered. What these factors lead to is a concept called negative social comparison. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It's when someone feels bad about themselves after comparing themselves with others. And this includes things such as your looks, like counts, and followers. Facebook found that roughly 1 out of 3 people on Instagram feel like they often or always compare their appearance to others on the platform. And 1 out of 4 feel intense pressure to look perfect. Many of you might think that social comparison mainly affects females. However, Facebook found that both boys and girls reported comparing themselves to others with similar frequency. But they compared different topics. Girls typically talk about body shape, while boys are found to talk about things such as the right clothes or having enough money to buy things to fit in. What is the result of this, you might wonder? It's worsening self-esteem, body image problems, eating disorders, anxiety, insecurity, and loneliness. We cannot forget that teenagers are at the time of their life where they're the most likely to feel pressure and compare themselves to others. And this is developmentally normal and a predictable behavior. So what type of content was found to lead to the most negative social comparison? In March and April 2020, Facebook conducted a social comparison survey in 9 countries that included 100,000 people. And they reported that people feel more negative comparison after having greater exposure to fashion posts, seeing high like counts on other people's posts, viewing celebrities' polished content in their feed, and being shown selfies, particularly filtered ones. I want to take a minute to quickly talk about the issue with like counts. While the concept of it sounds nice and harmless, research has actually shown that it has an overall damaging effect. An article posted in the journal Child Development in 2020 looked at the psychological effects of receiving fewer signs of positive feedback, aka like counts. What researchers found was that teenagers who received fewer likes during standard social media interactions felt more strongly rejected, reported having more negative thoughts about themselves, and had greater depressive symptoms. It matters because Facebook acknowledges that people receive about 5% as many likes on their own posts as those that they see on Instagram. And don't forget, almost half the content people see on Instagram comes from celebrities, which are those with the top 0.1% of followers globally or by country. And basically what this all means is that kids are set up to fail when it comes to receiving likes on the content they're posting. And the odds are greatly against them when it comes to their individual posts getting as many likes as the content they're seeing in their own feeds. And Facebook recognizes that young people are aware that Instagram can be bad for their mental health, and notes that despite this, they're compelled to spend time on the app for fear of missing out. Facebook flat out states that in some cases, quote, they can get addicted to things that make them feel bad. What's even more scary is the fact that Facebook fully acknowledges how all of this affects our young people in the long run, noting that the long-term, constant self-critique and scrutiny will permanently shape the way a person views themselves in relation to others. All of this social comparison leads to social pressure to look a certain way or act a certain way, and these factors can lead to isolation and to teenagers adopting unhealthy habits. As one teen stated, "I just feel on edge a lot of the time. It's like you can be called out for anything you do. One wrong move, one wrong step." So knowing that Instagram is directly leading to body image issues and disordered eating, and that eating disorders carry the highest risk of death of any mental illness, do you feel like social media is responsible or should be held accountable for the increased rates of eating disorder behaviors? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Now head on over to the next video to find out which social media platform was found to be the most destructive to your child's mental health.